there's something on my mind, and I know that I've already made a video for the week, but you get two. You're welcome. Thank me later. um, I want to talk about this today, like this occasion. This is the weekend of Easter or Resurrection Sunday for the extra churchy folks, um, where we celebrate the miracle of Christ's resurrection. Um, I want to I want to focus on today. We've had Good Friday. It's a very not mournful. What do you call it? Reflective time where we remember Christ's sacrifice and that he passed. He went to the cross and died for our sins. But not a lot of focus is placed on today, which I'm gonna call Sad Saturday. The Saturday after Good Friday is henceforth and forever hereby called Sad Saturday. Because, well, if you've ever lost a loved one, you know that the grief actually comes in waves. You know, um, on that first day, you're struck with the calamity of it all, right? Like you're very much involved in like what happened and how. You want to get the details. You want to know what happened, and there is much, much, much grief. Like you cannot believe what has happened. Um, there's a little disbelief. There's a lot of shock. There's a lot of pain. But that next day, in this case, Sad Saturday, grief really sets in. The reality of the pain of the loss, like the loss of what you thought was going to be your life, their life, um, really sets in. If you have ever lost someone to death, um, putting on my cute little glasses. You're welcome. If you've ever lost someone to death, you know that the grief hits in waves. That first day, you're very much like, oh my gosh. But then that second day, man, there's nothing like the pain of going to, geez, nature. Ew. There's nothing like the pain of going to reach out to that loved one that's gone and being hit with the memory that they're just not there, and all of the things that happened, the way that they could have gone in a way that was very much planned and peaceful. It don't matter. That crap hurts. And so I can imagine that for Jesus and his apostles, when Jesus passed, I mean, these men had spent every waking moment with him, essentially, and probably their sleeping moments. Um, they knew him very, very well. They loved him, not only as their rabbi, but as their brother and friend. And he was not just dead; he had been massacred, and probably one of the bloodiest, most likely the bloodiest thing they'd ever seen or even heard of to that point. It still is. It's thousands of years later, and it's the vilest, most disgusting, god awful way to even imagine someone being killed. So here they are. And that Friday they dealt with that, but then the Saturday comes and it's sad. Listen, I have lost a few friends, a few dear ones, and relatives, and just all of that. And the reality of the loss is next level. Um, Heck, I've lost what I thought was going to be my life, like what I thought my life was going to look like. It wasn't even a person that passed, it was just the situation of my life. And that thing hit so badly. I am so sorrowful to this day for the loved ones that I let down and that I hurt during that phase. It was a nasty, nasty period of life. Nasty. But as it pertains to losing a person, I've been in a place where I lost somebody, and the loss hit me so bad that it changed me. I didn't even know that I could become the person or feel the way that I felt, especially during that season. But it lasted for years. There were moments, there were songs, there were situations that would remind me of that person, and I would lose it every time. And it would always be uncontrollable. I'd think, oh, well, it's been long enough, and then drop kicked in the face with pain. I would imagine that sad Saturday was the same. Because not only had they lost their person, but they'd witnessed it all. The trauma. Jesus. On top of the pain, the trauma of the whole situation. Can you imagine? So I'm gonna call today Sad Saturday. And in our lives, we have been, when we lose someone that's dear to us, I think it can be reflected in this whole this Easter resurrection weekend process. The first day is like, oh my God, the trauma. Then the second day, that pain, oh my goodness. Oh my gosh, that pain. But then Sunday comes. And then just when the reality of that hits, he's up? What? What do you mean? What do you mean? How? What? I mean, I know we talked about all the things and he said this and X, Y, and Z, but what? So, if you find that you're in the middle of the sad Saturday of your life, just know resurrection is coming. It's on its way.